Have you ever felt that something inside you is shifting, even though you can't quite explain it? It's not just the world around you changing. It goes much deeper than that. It's a quiet but powerful transformation, one that begins as a subtle vibration within you, almost like an inner pause suspended between different versions of who you are. You can sense that you no longer fit into the shape of who you used to be, yet the version of you that's emerging hasn't fully arrived either. It feels like you're standing in a liminal space, caught between what was and what is about to be. On the outside, everything might look the same. Life seems to move forward as usual, but inside, in your heart and soul, something is undeniably different. There are signs, brief moments, sudden impulses, unexpected emotions that surface without warning. It's as if the universe is quietly working behind the scenes, gently rearranging your path. This isn't chaos, it's divine order. Something is being prepared for you, something your eyes can't see yet, but your spirit already recognizes. This process isn't about wanting more or chasing something external. It's not about craving or striving, it's about becoming. It's about being shaped internally so you're able to hold what's coming. Because what's on its way isn't small, it's immense, and it requires space, strength, and alignment. Without even realizing it, you're becoming that space. You're being molded to receive something greater than anything you've held before. The first sign often shows up as a subtle distance forming between you and certain people, habits, or environments that once felt like home. But this isn't rejection. It isn't anger or resentment. There's no drama attached to it. Something within you has simply shifted quietly and peacefully. It's as if your soul has moved a few steps ahead and is gently whispering that it no longer belongs in places that don't resonate with your new frequency. You find that you can't force yourself to stay anymore. You can't pretend. You can't fake belonging where your spirit no longer feels alive. Even if your mind doesn't fully understand what's happening, your heart accepts it with a quiet grace. This isn't loss, it's release. You're not being left behind, you're being freed because the universe doesn't build new beginnings on foundations that are no longer true. To bring something new into your life, space has to be created first. This detachment isn't impulsive. It's not rebellion. It's a silent retreat, natural and organic. You stop feeling the need to explain yourself. There are no dramatic exits, no long justifications. Something simply feels complete. A chapter has ended. What once held you now holds you back. What once filled you now feels too heavy to carry. And instead of resisting, you let go. Not because it makes logical sense, but because something deep within you knows it's time. This sense of detachment can feel strange, even uncomfortable, but it isn't emptiness. It's preparation. You're being gently stripped of what can't travel with you to your next level. Not because it was wrong, but because it has already served its purpose. You stop trying to fit into dynamics that no longer nourish you. Somewhere deep inside, you know something greater is approaching, something that can't arrive if you're still holding on to what shrinks you. This kind of letting go doesn't make you cold. It makes you clear. Your decisions begin to align more naturally with your truth. You start saying no without guilt. You walk away without creating scenes, and you do it not from ego, but from inner wisdom. Your energy is changing, and it's not random. It's a message, it's preparation. The universe isn't taking anything from you, it's aligning you. When you release what no longer resonates, you're silently saying, I'm ready. Ready for what's next, even if you can't name it yet. That inner gesture, though invisible, moves unseen forces. Even when you don't understand why certain doors are closing, one day you'll realize they were never rejections. They were redirections. The space you're creating is exactly where something greater needs to enter. And here's the miracle. This inner release doesn't leave you feeling empty. It leaves you strangely at peace, as if without trying you've aligned yourself with a deeper rhythm. What you're releasing isn't taking pieces of you away. It's shedding outdated versions of you that no longer serve your growth. You're not losing anything essential, you're returning to your essence. This entire process feels like a silent cleansing. People drift away without conflict. Opportunities fall through without clear explanations. Paths that once seemed solid suddenly disappear, and instead of clinging, you exhale. That small, quiet breath is a powerful sign. It means you're ready. Because those who trust what leaves are already prepared to receive what's coming. Your sensitivity deepens. You no longer tolerate what's superficial or artificial, anything rooted in fear. You begin to crave truth, depth, and authenticity. You seek connections that are grounded, not convenient. You long for silences that feel safe, not awkward. Your soul is no longer interested in distraction, it wants expansion. And this calling isn't coincidence, it's a response. Because the universe doesn't just hear your words, it listens to your frequency. When you shift what you carry inside, everything around you begins to shift too. Even when nostalgia tries to pull you back to what you've released, a deeper part of you knows you can't return. Not because you don't want to, but because you don't fit anymore. You stop betraying yourself just to belong. You stop forcing comfort where there is none. And that alone is an act of spiritual maturity. You're not giving up. You're growing up. You're not running away. You're recognizing that what's truly great can't be built on what denies your truth. You're not just releasing, you're reclaiming. You're reclaiming the space that is yours by divine design. And then something else becomes clear. This entire unfolding has its own rhythm, far removed from logic. There are days when you feel illuminated and aligned, and others when everything feels paused and uncertain. You wonder why things seem stalled, why so much feels like it's in limbo. But deep inside, you know you're not stuck. You're being rewritten. When the universe prepares something magnificent, it quiets the noise. It slows the chaos, not as punishment, but so you can finally hear what's rising from within you. You don't react the way you used to. Your response to endings isn't resistance anymore, it's awareness. Even through discomfort, you let go with intention. You begin to understand that what's being deactivated in your life isn't being taken away. It's being replaced by something that aligns more fully with who you truly are. And even if you can't describe it yet, you carry a quiet certainty with you. You're starting to live not from the surface, but from vibration, and anything that isn't real simply falls away. What isn't sustained by the soul loses its grip on you. You no longer try to hold on because something deeper than logic, older than memory, knows that every ending now is making space for a greater beginning. You can't force this process. You can only honor it, and in honoring it, you become something sacred. You become space. Space for what is real. Space for what is vast. Space for what truly aligns with who you are now. And this isn't happening because you wished for it. It's happening because you're ready to hold it. Without even realizing it, your soul already said yes. And the universe, in its invisible and perfect language, is already responding. The second sign begins to reveal itself through unexpected pauses. Projects suddenly slow down or stop without warning. Plans get postponed for reasons you can't clearly identify. Paths that once felt obvious and certain now seem blurred and uncertain. At first, this can be deeply frustrating. You may feel like things are falling apart, like you're doing something wrong, like you somehow missed a step or failed to act at the right time. But slowly, something inside you starts to shift. You stop seeing the pause as a blockage or a punishment. You begin to sense that it's something else entirely. A signal, a moment of divine recalibration. You realize there is something sacred hidden within stillness, something that cannot be forced no matter how much effort or desire you pour into it. When the universe is preparing you for something truly significant, it doesn't rush you. It doesn't push you to accelerate. Instead, it pauses you, not to stop you permanently, but to strengthen you deeply. Not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because the most profound growth rarely happens in motion. It happens in silence, in waiting, in the spaces where nothing seems to be happening on the surface, yet everything is being rearranged underneath. This pause is not a delay, it's a sacred transition, and you, who are learning to remain present within it, are being restructured from the inside out. In the beginning, these periods of stagnation disturb you. You feel like you're wasting time, like you've lost direction, like maybe you made a wrong turn somewhere along the way. But then, in the quiet stretch between what once was and what has yet to arrive, something becomes visible. Not a clear answer, not a defined plan, but a new kind of stability, a calm that doesn't depend on circumstances but rises from within. This stability isn't given to you by the world. It's cultivated by your soul as it adjusts itself. Because when the universe prepares you for greatness, it doesn't just offer you opportunities, it reconfigures you. And to do that, it needs you to stop running. It needs you to be still long enough for the pieces to align without you forcing them into place. During this pause, your perception begins to change. You start noticing things you once ignored. You hear your inner voice more clearly, without the constant interference of external expectations. You begin to recognize yourself beneath all the roles, labels, and pressures. And even though this shift is subtle, almost invisible, it changes everything. You come to understand a powerful truth. Not everything that stops is broken. Some things pause because they need time to mature quietly beneath the surface. Just as roots grow in darkness before a plant breaks through the soil, some directions in life realign themselves in ways you can't yet see. Not because you're off course, but because you're being gently, lovingly redirected towards something your mind cannot yet imagine. Instead of resisting, you begin to inhabit the pause. You make peace with the quiet. And right there, in that exact moment of surrender, the universe starts opening new doors. The pause becomes a cleansing force. It removes everything you were maintaining out of fear, urgency, or desperation. It clears away what was sustained by anxiety, by empty expectations, by restless striving. You stop acting just to fill a void. You stop moving simply because standing still feels uncomfortable. You learn to sit with yourself without distractions. And in doing so, you become clearer, more grounded, a more open channel for what's meant for you. Because the truth is this: the universe does not deposit greatness into chaotic spaces. It entrusts it to those who have learned to make a home within themselves. The more you surrender to the pause, the more clarity begins to arrive. Not as dramatic revelations, but as a quiet knowing, a deeper intuition, a wisdom that doesn't come from thinking, but from feeling. And through that feeling, everything that once seemed stalled starts to make sense. This isn't about passively waiting for life to happen. It's about realizing that you are what's about to happen. You begin to understand that this pause hasn't isolated you, it's preserved you. It's not that opportunities have stopped appearing or that the right people aren't showing up. It's that you're being protected. Protected because what's coming requires the clearest, truest, most refined version of you. You cannot hold something expansive while remaining in the same state that only knew how to hold the small. Expansion demands shedding. It requires space. It requires stillness. And that stillness, even when uncomfortable, becomes a sanctuary. In that sanctuary, you stop defining yourself by productivity or achievement. You start valuing yourself simply for being. Even when nothing is happening on the outside, you discover you don't need constant movement to feel worthy. You realize that progress doesn't always have to be visible to be real. That true growth often makes no noise, yet leaves a deep imprint on the soul. You begin to see that the pause isn't empty. It's a place of gestation. Something is forming, not around you, but within you. Your relationship with time changes. Your relationship with the present moment deepens. You stop reacting the way you used to. You stop fighting what no longer flows. You no longer measure your life by constant motion. You understand now that even what appears still is still working, still shaping, still guiding you. In this stillness, you learn to distinguish what feels urgent from what feels true. You stop leaping at every impulse. You stop letting the pressure of the world dictate your pace. Something within you slows down, not from weakness, but from depth. And in that depth, you begin to resonate more clearly with what truly belongs to you. What's coming is not more of the same. It's something entirely different because you are different now. This is where the realization settles fully. The pause was never about waiting. It was about preparation. You weren't being stopped. You were being tuned. Your soul was expanding, stretching itself so it could hold what's coming with clarity, courage, and without fear. Even though it hasn't fully manifested yet, you can feel it. A silent call, a vibration that doesn't need explanation, a knowing that doesn't come from logic but from alignment. Something significant is approaching, and this time you're ready to receive it. The third sign begins to emerge when you notice your sensitivity to the invisible increasing. You start perceiving things you once overlooked, the energy of a room, the emotional state of someone who hasn't said a word, the subtle atmosphere beneath conversations and situations. You begin to sense whether something is meant for you or not, almost instantly. This isn't imagination, it's refined perception. And it's not random, it's part of your preparation. The universe doesn't give you something meaningful and then leave you unequipped. It trains you to carry it. That's why, before what you've been waiting for arrives, you go through a period of inner refinement. You're becoming someone who feels more deeply, senses more clearly, and knows when to pause. Not because the world demands it, but because your soul does. Even when everything around you pushes you to keep moving, that inner whisper tells you to stop, to listen, to realign. This heightened sensitivity wasn't something you consciously chose. It simply intensified. Things you once tolerated now feel uncomfortable. What you used to ignore now echoes within you. You feel it in conversations that carry heavy energy, in environments that feel misaligned, in choices that don't sit right, often before your rational mind can explain why. At first, this can feel confusing, but then you realize it's not confusion, it's connection. You're learning to read reality from a deeper layer. You're no longer limited to what's visible. You sense what lies beneath the surface, the unspoken, the energetic truth behind words. And yes, at times this sensitivity can feel isolating. But it's not meant to disconnect you from the world. It's meant to bring you clarity, to help you recognize what truly belongs to you and what doesn't. This is a kind of intelligence that can't be taught. It's remembered. This sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's a tool. Because what's coming isn't meant to sit passively in your life. It's meant to move through you, and if you're not attuned, if you don't know how to listen or when to stop, you could lose yourself in the noise. That's why you feel everything so strongly now. Not because you're fragile, but because you're awake. And with this awakening sensitivity, something else quietly takes root within you. A new way of protecting yourself. You no longer need long explanations to walk away from what feels misaligned. You don't feel the urge to justify your boundaries. You don't need permission to trust what your body and soul are signaling. You feel it, and that is enough. Your body becomes an antenna. Your soul becomes a compass, and slowly you begin to trust it. Even on days when everything feels overwhelming, when emotions seem amplified and the world feels too loud, you know deep down that none of this is a mistake. What you're experiencing is expansion. That openness you feel isn't weakness, it's readiness. Because only someone who can feel deeply is capable of holding something truly meaningful. And you, who have sensed this transformation quietly for so long, are now being tuned to receive it. You also start to notice that this sensitivity doesn't just reveal what isn't meant for you. It powerfully draws you toward what is. There are moments when you enter a space and feel instant calm without knowing why. Conversations that are brief but ignite something profound inside you. Projects that have barely begun, yet you feel their purpose vibrating through your entire being. That certainty doesn't come from thought, it comes from alignment. This doesn't happen because you've learned more. It happens because you're less distracted, less conditioned, less disconnected from your essence. In this quiet preparation, the universe has been removing what numbed you, not as punishment, but as a return to your center. Because only from that place can you truly recognize what's meant for you. You begin to realize you can no longer tolerate half-truths, half-hearted connections, or lukewarm choices. What once felt mildly uncomfortable now feels unbearable. But this isn't intolerance, it's clarity. Your soul has become too precise to pretend, too awake to carry what doesn't match who you are now. And yes, that clarity can hurt, but it also protects you. What's coming doesn't require perfection. It asks for authenticity. That's why the universe refines your perception until you can only move toward what aligns. There's no more space for what feeds the ego but starves the soul. You're being refined for the real, and in the midst of this intensity, something unexpected arrives. Calm. A deeper, steadier calm. Because when you stop forcing yourself to carry what doesn't resonate, your energy begins to settle. Your life begins to breathe again. You, who once questioned every instinct, now recognize a true yes the moment it appears. Your body confirms it. Your energy expands. There's no need to convince yourself anymore. In this grounded yet open state, soft but certain, you're being prepared not just to survive or adapt, but to receive, hold, and channel something greater than you. Something that can only manifest through you. With this heightened sensitivity comes deep honesty with yourself. You can no longer ignore your feelings. You can no longer stay silent when something inside you says no. You can't remain in connections out of habit or stay in places where your energy shrinks. As the universe prepares you, it makes self-betrayal impossible. The choices you make now may feel difficult, but you begin to see that every release is an affirmation of what you're meant to carry forward. You start treating your energy as sacred, not out of fear, but out of respect for yourself. You understand now that not everything near you deserves to stay. Not every closeness is true connection. Your sensitivity wasn't given to help you adapt to noise. It was given to help you create spaces where depth, calm, and authenticity can exist without masks. That clarity may push some people away, but it draws the essential ones closer. And you're no longer willing to negotiate what's essential. Even your silence changes. There are things you no longer explain. You don't justify your intuition. Those who feel it will understand. Those who don't need to. You're no longer explaining yourself from lack. You're standing in truth, in remembrance. You remember now that you're here for something greater. And that greater thing cannot be built on a smaller version of who you are. The most beautiful part is that this sensitivity hasn't weakened you. It's brought you home. It's reconnected you to a depth that needs no approval and seeks no permission. You're becoming a clear, open space where the great can dwell. Not just to receive, but to transform. Because the universe doesn't place the sacred just anywhere. It places it where it knows it will be honored, where it will be held with care, where it will be protected even in darkness. Then comes the fourth sign. A moment of quiet clarity where everything you've lived through, the beauty and the brutality, the moments that made sense and those that never did, begin to come together. Like scattered pieces finally finding their place. Something within you whispers a truth you've always carried but could never fully articulate. Nothing happened without purpose. The pain wasn't random, the silence wasn't wasted. This isn't an intellectual realization, it's integration. Emotional, spiritual, deep. You feel it not in your mind, but in your chest. You begin to understand why heartbreaks happened, why your soul chose paths that hurt, why you were led through emptiness and stillness. Situations that once brought tears now bring gratitude. Relationships that broke you now reveal the clarity they gifted you. Closed doors no longer feel cruel, they feel precise. You see now that nothing was punishment. It was preparation. Even in your darkest moments when you felt abandoned and lost, something unseen was guiding you, protecting you, cutting cords you didn't yet have the strength to cut. From this awareness, you no longer carry your past as weight. You honor it as a map. Every wound taught you how to rebuild with more wisdom. Every ending created space for something truer. The chaos that once disoriented you now reveals hidden order. You're not nostalgic. You're aligned. You don't wish to go back or rewrite anything. You don't need to learn through pain anymore. You've entered a chapter where your past becomes wisdom, not burden. Great things don't arrive when life is perfect. They arrive when you're at peace with imperfection. When you stop running from your path and begin blessing it. You no longer wait with anxiety. You wait with presence. That presence is a frequency, and the universe responds to frequency, not desperation. Without realizing it, you've already begun vibrating in harmony with what's coming. You soften toward yourself. You stop judging who you were. You stop replaying old choices. That softness isn't weakness, it's maturity. To embrace your journey with love is a sacred act. You stop chasing ideal versions of yourself. You release other people's expectations. You walk lighter now. And in that lightness, clarity appears. Answers rise from within. Questions lose their grip. Every phase that once felt chaotic reveals itself as exact. Every loss, a divine opening. Every ending, preparation. What once hurt now empowers you, not because pain was beautiful, but because you chose growth over bitterness. And that choice is the clearest sign of all. What's coming isn't just destiny, it's readiness. The fifth sign arrives quietly. You begin to vibrate differently. Nothing major changes on the outside, but inside everything shifts. Your presence grounds. Your perception deepens. You stand in a new frequency. You're not forcing, you're not chasing, you simply are. And from that state, life begins to respond. New people, new alignments, new opportunities. Not because you searched, but because you changed. Your vibration now invites. It doesn't beg. You're no longer looking to be completed. What's coming isn't filling a void, it's expanding a fullness you already recognize within. When the universe prepares you for something extraordinary, it does so in silence, in pauses, in subtle signs only the soul can read. And you who have stayed true through every phase are now ready. You were never delayed. You were refined. You weren't wasting time, you were making space. And what's coming will arrive through alignment, not force. Your soul already knows the way. It just needed to hear it.